Okay, so here's the train map for Berlin, and you can kind of see the middle of town is here. I'm down here at Adlershof. Now, it's about 11:30 in the morning, and I don't fly out till 7 tonight. So I'm thinking of going to see something. I can go back to the center of town, but I've already been there. And there's a place up here, Oranienburg, and that was Sachsenhausen, which was one of the first concentration camps that I wouldn't mind visiting. The problem is I have my suitcase with me because I had to check out of my hotel. So I'm not sure if I want to drag it all the way up there, and then there's probably a couple kilometer walk from the train station to the actual location yet, or whether I just want to go to the center of town and see some more stuff. But Tegel is over here, so Oranienburg is actually not, well, this map isn't actually got good distances, but it's not exactly that far from Tegel. It's a lot better than Adlershof, which is way down here. But so at least I'd be making progress going up there. But I'd also be making progress going to the center of town. So I'm just gonna go with it and see where we end up. So I'm here in Oranienburg, and just at the station here. This is what it looks like, and it's 12:36 now p.m. And to get there from Adlershof, I had to go all the way up into Berlin, past Ostkreuz, and I went to right over here to Bornholmerstrasse, where I changed trains, got on the S1, which is the pink line here, and that takes me up to Oranienburg. It took me about an hour and 20 minutes to do that. It's a long, long way. So anyway, I'm here now. I'm going to go find Sachsenhausen, and then I'll come back to the train and head back down into Berlin. Alright, so I'm walking down the street in a residential neighborhood in Oranienburg, and I'm heading toward the Sachsenhausen Memorial. It's about a 2K walk from the train station, so dragging my baggage, it's a bit of a pain, but that's not too bad. Anyway, this is what Oranienburg looks like. Something like this. It's actually kind of a nice little town. A lot nicer than a lot of the stuff I saw in Berlin. More pleasant. I think if I was going to live in this area, I'd probably live here, except that the damn synchrotron's right at the other end of town. It was 50 kilometers to get here from there, so on the train, it's like going to Hague from Dundurn. Anyway, I'm just about to Sachsenhausen, so we'll go take a look around there, and then I'll head back to the train station to go to the airport. So I'm here at the Memorial and Museum, Sachsenhausen. This is in Oranienburg, which is sort of north and a little bit west of Berlin. And this was one of the first concentration camps, I think, because it's close to Berlin, so they could ship people here starting in, I think, the mid-30s or even mid to late 30s. And I'm going to go inside and take a look around. So here at the main gate, there's kind of a small outer gate, and then this is the big main gate that says Arbeit macht frei, or work will set you free. I don't think that they really meant free as in we'll let you go. They meant free as in other things. So this is just inside the main gate. You can see where all the buildings used to be over here. So this is the neutral zone. It says basically you've only got 0 chances. You will be shot if you're in here. So this was the prison in Sachsenhausen concentration camp. There's this walled off area with a prison building in it. Now, I don't know about you, but this seems a little ironic to me. So behind me here, way in the distance, you can see the ends of 2 barracks along with the prison wall. The 2 barracks were the regular barracks that they stayed in. It wasn't any better than the prison. It was pretty much the same. The prison was just a little bit more concrete instead of wood. And yeah, it wasn't pleasant. The bathrooms were sort of communal, and there was all sorts of nasty stuff that went on. It was just terrible. You can see here all of these pads with the rocks in them. Each one represents one of those barracks. The barracks over there, the number I was in was 38, and I don't know how many of these there are here. If I had to take a guess, I would say somewhere in the neighborhood of 100. So each one housed about 250 people, so capable of housing 250 people anyway. And I mean, I wouldn't put 40 in there from the size, but apparently that's what it was. So this memorial here is at the far end of the concentration camp, and I'm not quite sure exactly what it's for. It looks like there's a soldier and some other people, and it's got a list of countries on it. And I thought maybe it was commemorating the release of the prisoners, but their US and Canada are not in there, especially the Americans, who were big in this part of Europe at that time, or maybe not this part of Europe, but it does have England and Norway, so you'd think if countries like that were on it, then the United States would also be there if that was the case. So I'm not quite sure exactly what it's for. So this is sort of in the middle of the camp. And here, there's a plaque, and I think this is original. It's on the ground here, and what it says is I can't translate it quite right, but it says that it's an execution furnishing. There was a number of gallows here. This is where the gallows were. And it says execution fines for all prisoners that are stored here. So it's very dark. And I'm lucky enough that I get to walk out the front entrance. A lot of people wish they could, I think. So there's something about being here, being inside the walls, that makes you realize it takes it from an abstract thing that happened to a real thing. And I don't know, it's not really a totally good feeling, but it kind of makes you think, you know, all those old movies you saw on the History Channel and whatnot. Being here really takes it and makes it not a movie. It really happened, and it really happened here. So I'm back outside of Sachsenhausen, and it was a pretty interesting visit, I'd have to say. Definitely worth coming to see. But now it's about 2:30, and I gotta be at the airport at maybe 5 o'clock or so. So I'd better go back to the train station here. I've got about a 2-kilometer walk, and then catch a train. I got a couple of transfers to make, and probably take a bus or a taxi after that to get to Tegel. So from there, it's on to Zurich. How'd you like to live right here, right next to an old concentration camp? Would freak me out. So you recall there's an election going on here, and I noticed the middle sign here of these three is actually for the Communist Party, the German Communist Party. So I guess they're still alive and kicking here. Alright, so I'm Tegel in East Berlin and close to the airport. On my way to the airport, and my GPS decides to quit working. And unlike at home, where everybody laughs at me because I supposedly know where I'm going and I'm still running a GPS, here I actually need it. So I was a little worried when it quit. I needed to get some batteries, and of course this area nobody speaks English. So my German was put to the test a little bit, and I tried to find some batteries, and I went into a couple stores and I couldn't find any that worked or anything like that. And then I'm walking down the block, and lo and behold, what appears but a battery shop. So in I go, and sure enough, he's got exactly what I need. So right across the street from the battery shop is, you'll look over here, it says U6 U-Bahn 6. And that's the one I need to catch to go down to catch the bus to Tegel Airport. So I'm here at Tegel Airport in Berlin, and I tried to bust my butt to get here by 5 o'clock because I got a 7 o'clock flight, and I thought I want to be, on time. And I get up to the ticket desk, and they tell me that the flight is you're not even allowed to check in until 90 minutes before the flight. So I got a half hour to kill, but at least I'm in the place I need to be. So I have to say, Berlin is one of the most interesting places I've been. It's different than West Germany. feel the Russian influence here still. I think it's not that long ago, and there's still a lot of that. There's still the influence from before the war, some of the old buildings, and there's a lot of a lot of history here, I guess, and recent. The history is recent enough that you see it everywhere. You see this mixture of everything that's happened in the last since before the war. So, very fascinating city. Highly recommend it for a visit.